Hey everybody, George here, the Disney Family Man, coming to you with another video. Hey everyone, what's going on? I looked like I was doing the Jedi mind trick, like, you will watch this video. So, today I thought I'd talk about, speaking of Star Wars, but not speaking of Star Wars. This has to do with Disney's Hollywood Studios, and um, a lot of that park is surrounded by the franchise of Star Wars. Whether with it's in Galaxy's Edge with Smuggler's Run and Rise of the Resistance, Oga's Cantina, Star Tours, what have you. But I'm going to kind of take a different direction when it comes to Disney's Hollywood Studios. And this is coming from my own personal experience with going to the park during the time when the park was known as Disney MGM Studios. And when the park was under the MGM banner, it the whole entire park had that behind the scenes sort of feel to it, like for the movie making and television process, like of how things are made, behind the lens of the camera rather than actually being in the moment in the films. So it's one of those things where it definitely felt like old classic traditional Hollywood. And you still get a little bit of that at Hollywood Studios. You have the Hollywood Brown Derby restaurant. You walk down Sunset Boulevard, you have the Tower of Terror right there, and then you go off to the right and go to the Hollywood amphitheater for Phantasmic. So it still kind of has that old Hollywood type of theme. Now, dead center of the park was also an iconic attraction that really gave you the notion of riding the movies, and that was the slogan, that was the tagline. Yes, I am actually talking about the Great Movie Ride. And with that attraction, it was very dated. It was very, very old. I do feel like it needed an update, a tremendous update. And I guess the big question is that I'm asking is, what then took the place of the Great Movie Ride was Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Now, I had the opportunity to experience Runaway Railway with my wife back in October. Now, here's the thing. I love the attraction. I really do. But the big question for me is, was it the perfect fit for Hollywood Studios? Now, keep in mind, folks, I'm not saying would have I chosen Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway over the Great Movie Ride, or vice versa. Would I have rather had the Great Movie Ride over Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway? That's not what I'm getting at. I do love both attractions. I'm just wondering if Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway was the perfect fit for Hollywood Studios going in the Grauman's Chinese Theater. And it's just one of those things where, because now Disneyland is going to be getting Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and it's going in Toontown. And I was having a conversation with Orange Grove 55, who's a friend of the channel, who's been on many times, and I was asking him if Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway was a perfect fit for Toontown and not Fantasyland. And he did make a very good point that with Toontown, it's not supposed to just have a one-sided effect of, it's supposed to have this type of style, the old traditional style. A cartoon is a cartoon, so you can have many different styles of how animation is, and that works well with Toontown. And I completely agree with that statement. So now my question is to all of you, and please comment down below. Do you feel that Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway belongs in Hollywood Studios? And primarily, not necessarily in Hollywood Studios. Let me take that back. Does it belong in the Grauman's Chinese Theater? And they do have a nice cue line and a nice storyline. It's Mickey Mouse's big premiere for a new short, and they're going on a picnic, and you're taking this tour with Goofy on the Runaway Railway train. But it, and I know Hollywood studios needed more attractions, to kind of fill out the day. I'm just wondering if Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway would have done significantly better as far as the theming goes to be put in Magic Kingdom and put something else in the Grauman's Chinese Theater. And you're probably wondering, well, if not Runaway Railway, what would go in there? I would honestly have kept the Great Movie Ride, but I would have updated it to make it more, um, honestly, kind of make it more contemporary and more up to date to, with modern technology and maybe based off of not just old classic traditional um, films, but up to date films now. Like they could have added maybe scenes and segments of Avatar, maybe even some for Star Wars, or you know uh, any type of thing, but still keep some of those segments like the classic, like the Singing in the Rain, Casablanca, Mary Poppins, The Wizard of Oz. Like they had those classic, but they could have changed the style of the ride, rather than have like a mob boss take over the attraction, and they could have came up with a whole new different type of storyline. And I'm kind of contemplating on that. It's nothing against Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. I'm so glad that the resort has that attraction. It's just more so, where would it fit better? Where does it belong? And and again, it could even very well fit in Hollywood studios. But I'm wondering, as far as the main marquee of the Grauman's Chinese Theater, because I love that classic traditional Hollywood, and it kind of threw me off as far as the attraction goes. I love the ride, but sometimes I forgot to say, oh, that's right, I'm not in Magic Kingdom. I'm in Hollywood Studios inside the Grauman's Chinese Theater. This was the ride that replaced the Great Movie Ride. So it's just, one of those things that it just ponders the question: does this attraction fit well in the outer theming of this theater complex, so to speak? Because it's basically a replica of the real Grauman's Chinese Theater in California, and and the Great Movie Ride was a perfect fit of what the perfect theming of an attraction inside the Grauman's Chinese Theater. So I would really love to hear from you guys. Please comment down below. Let me know what you think. Does Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway belong in the Grauman's Chinese Theater? Does it belong in Hollywood Studios? Would you prefer to see it in Magic Kingdom? Sort of like what Disneyland's doing with putting it in Toontown. Let me know down below. I'd love to hear from you guys. Comment, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And as always, stay healthy, stay safe, stay Disney. Bye, everybody.